Dan Schneider is a piece of shit who enjoys grooming children and making little girls pose their feet on television for foot fetishists around the world. But that being said, he may also be responsible for one of the greatest phenomenon in television history. Now, you may have heard of the Sandlerverse, and of course we're all familiar with the Spider-Verse, but today we'll be jumping into the Schneiderverse. So I probably sound pretty insane right now, right? I'd be crazy, but you know, where do we even start with allegations like this? Well, I'll tell you where it starts, okay? It starts right fucking here. Let me tell you something. The main culprit of this Jerry Trainor, okay? Connects all the dots, all right? He connects everything from the little to the beginning, from everything from start to finish. This guy, it's all about him. So let's start at the beginning, okay? Now we're not going to go chronologically as far back as we're going to look at, but let's, for the sake of this argument, the first step of here is Drake and Josh, the beloved TV show Drake and Josh. Everyone loves it. Early 2000s, hilarious stuff, man. Like, everyone who's ever been in that show has some sort of allegation against them. It's great. One guy, though, stands out from the rest, and that is Jerry freaking Trainor. Now, in this TV show, he played a very memorable side character named Crazy Steve. Hilarious guy. Mentally unwell, but overall cool, okay? Now, Crazy Steve, in the show, didn't really have any importance in the plot, okay? He was just like this goofy side character, but what's mainly important about it is that he exists in the show. And this is, I think, to my knowledge, this is Jerry Trainor's first appearance in the Schneiderverse, okay? He starts off in Drake and Josh as Crazy Steve. Great, okay. But then, and now let's jump ahead. Another show going on at the time, Zoey 101. Now this might seem all disconnected, as most things should be, right? It starred Victoria Justice, played a supporting character in that show throughout its running. She'll come up later, so remember that. Okay, in Zoey 101, there's an episode where Megan from the show Drake and Josh shows up to the campus in Zoey 101 to help out what's going on there, okay? And Megan helps out. It's like a fun cameo. Megan in Zoey 101. Now, just remember that these details will come back later. Also in Zoey 101, Drake Parker, the character, Drake Bell's character that he plays in Drake and Josh, his band shows up to Zoey 101, and they play, and everyone loves them. So, Drake from Drake and Josh and Megan from Drake and Josh show up in Zoey 101, for sure. In Zoey 1 also, Victoria Justice plays a character in there. This is important for later. Things go on normally, but then a little show called iCarly comes around. See, Drake and Josh is over now. Megan gets old, she gets her own show. Drake and Josh fuck off. Nobody cares about him anymore. Drake, but anyway, Drake, well, you know, nothing else needs to be said about that. But anyway, so Miranda Cosgrove gets her own show now, iCarly. She's the star of it. And who's her fucking brother? Fucking Spencer, not me. Jerry Trainor's her brother. That's who. Jerry Trainor shows up in this show, a much larger role as a supporting character. Spencer Shea, alright? And now this is a fun character too. He does a good job acting. But then the unexpected thing happens. There's an episode. There's several Easter eggs to Drake and Josh throughout the show's run, but we're going to focus on the one episode. The most blatant of Easter eggs, in my opinion, is there's an episode where Carly from iCarly is watching an episode of Drake and Josh. And what episode is she watching? Well, an episode that features Crazy Steve. And she's watching, not only does she watch an episode featuring Crazy Steve, and herself, I should add, she's watching a scene that features Crazy Steve. One of the most prominent Crazy Steve scenes that ever exists, where he's yelling at the television about Dora. She's watching that scene, which also features herself, to say the least. So now we have Drake and Josh exists as his own show. What does that mean? Did Carly act before? Did Spencer act in this show before? What does it imply? But hold on, it gets crazier, because also in this show of iCarly, another fantastic show I'll add, there's an episode in which Victoria Justice guest stars on it, and she plays a MMA boxer who Carly has to fight. Okay, that's the plot of the episode. Not really important here. What is important is that Victoria Justice, of course, also acted in Zoey 101, which also had Drake Bell and Miranda Cosgrove guest starring in it. So now she exists twice, but it gets crazier than that, because you go on a few years later, iCarly goes down the drain and they fucking cancel that show, and then it turns into a spin-off with Sam, a very prominent side character from iCarly, and Kat, who's also a character from Victorious. Now, what's Victorious? I haven't mentioned this show yet. Victorious is a TV show starring Victoria Justice from Zoey 101 and iCarly from that one episode. Her own show about high school and shit. I don't know. It was pretty funny, too. And it's kind of crazy. We have Kat from Victorious, and we have Sam from iCarly, existing in their own crossover show. But Victoria Justice is now canon in 3 universes. But now we get into the real nitty-gritty stuff, because we have Sam from iCarly connects iCarly to Victorious. But now Victorious, she was in Zoey 101, and now the characters don't ever meet each other. That'd be insane, right? But what would be more insane is if Jerry Trainor shows the fuck back up, and he plays himself, right? In Sam and Cat, there's an episode where they go to an award ceremony, and who the fuck is on the stage? Who the fuck is in the crowd? Jerry Trainor, accepting an award for being an actor. But so now it's canon that he's an actor for what? The fucking show where he plays the kid's uncle? No. For Drake and Josh, where his role is Crazy Steve. But no one mentions the fact that he's Spencer Shea. Sam certainly knows him. She had a fucking crush on him. Okay, and Cat is oblivious of like she is of all things, but like, what the fuck, man? In the last season of Sam and Cat, okay, Dan Schneider's just losing it. He's gonna do whatever it takes to make people just as crazy as he is. So he takes Jerry Trainor and he brings him back in the show, but not as Jerry Trainor, not as Spencer. No, that would make too much sense. No, he plays Crazy Steve. He comes back as Crazy Steve, reprising the role nearly 10 years later as playing Crazy Steve in Sam and Cat, when they bring in an episode that features Nora and Gibby from iCarly. So it's like, they're like, how many iCarly characters can we include in this episode that also includes the guy that they know is Spencer, their best friend's brother, but they're not going to acknowledge the fact that he looks like Spencer. No, this is a new character, Crazy Steve, who iCarly used to watch on the TV. So if anyone was over Carly's house when she watched Drake and Josh, her favorite show apparently, they would also recognize Crazy Steve from the TV show. Is this someone imitating Crazy Steve in real life? Would this like be if I went to a drive-thru and ordered in Plankton's voice, and then people are like, oh, that's Plankton, but then like, you know, it's not like they think I'm Plankton. They're like, oh, he's pretending to be. No. They were like, oh, this is a new person we've just met, Steve, who's crazy. Nothing like that Crazy Steve character we know from iCarly, who looks exactly the same and also exactly like my best friend's brother. And then Victorious, oh my god, she's in like everything. She's in iCarly, but then how come, you know, does Sam ever talk about the time, oh yeah, my best friend one time fought an MMA fighter, yeah, here's a pic, and then Kat is like, well, hold on a second, that looks just like my best friend, and then, you know, Carly shows up, and she's like, or I'm sorry, and then Drake Parker or Megan shows up and they're like, no, that's not your best friend, she used to go to Pacific Coast Academy over with my friend Zoe. Or Quinn, or whoever the fuck Megan interacted with. I think it was Quinn. I think she helped Quinn with the science project. But anyway, this is just what I got going so far. This is just what the tip of the fucking iceberg with the fucking Schneiderverse. If we really want to go far, we can start looking into the Amanda Show. Okay, we can start really getting into the nitty gritty stuff. All right, so that's just the beginning. Okay, that's just the beginning. If I'm not silenced, if I don't get fucking schneefed off the planet by his army, all right, then there will be more to this, and I will return.